Okay, nerds, welcome to another Vintage League. Today we're just going to play some Tier 1 nonsense. We've got a momentum breaker from Ether Drift. This is Etoustar's top 8 list from a challenge recently, and it's just some big Dimir Lurrus, you know? Bunch of Wastelands and Sagas. On-color Moxen, including the Pearl for the Lurrus, Triple Bauble, and a Spell Bomb as our loopable cards. Frogs, Force of Wills, Force of Negations, Counter Magic. They didn't play a Time Twister, so no combo kills there. But we've got DT for Ancestral, DT for Dig, DT for Walk, DT for Frog, I guess. But yeah, so we're just going to try some Blue Black Lurus. When it comes to challenges, we're going to play a league. When it comes to challenges, I've not had the greatest little streak on me. I went 2-2 with Dredge, and then 0-2 with Agrovine, 0-2 with Squee. So I have this thing inside me where I like to do well at Magic tournaments. So that's why I'm looking here. Like, do I need to spend some time not dredging and not bazaring in order to win some matches of Magic? And obviously, the best deck in the format is a good place to start. One banger we've got in the sideboard is this Legacy's Allure. So Peasant Cube All Star. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a counter on it, and then you can sacrifice it to gain control of target creature with power less than or equal to number of counters on it. Bit of a banger. Not sure why it's there. Genuinely not sure why it's there. I know I can loop it with Lurrus, but what does it take? It can't really take a frog. It can take a Bowmaster. I'm already dead before it gets a white creature out of mono white. It can take a lizard. I don't know. Anyway, a couple of cages for Oath, because we're blue-black, so we're bad against Oath usually. Consign's going to be for shops and a bit of splash damage against Doomsday. 2 tabs, Snuff Out Jailer, Momentum Breaker, bonus Swamp, because Sphere Shops is on the up and up. And yeah, this is just copy and paste metagame and the idea to win. So let's go play a league and see how we do. Okay, round 1, we're up against Tabusa Cat, who's usually a big Doomsday gamer. This hand is crap. So we'll assume Doomsday, because that's what they are pretty much always on. I've got 1 permission spell and 1 wasteland, and then I've got a bunch of uncastables, 2 of which are dead in the matchup. So I'm going to mulligan. And I guess I keep this. We're on the draw. I'll drop an Underground Sea, because I've got another one off Lorien. I've got a wasteland. Although I'm probably pitching the Lorien, aren't I? Ancient Tomb, Patchwork Automaton. I hate people. Jokes. Jokes. Right, so that's not great for us. Do I want to just waste them? Or do I want to produce mana? If I play Wasteland, I can't spell Pierce something, but I can negate it. But then I'm negating pitching Lorien or Brainstorm or the Pierce itself. Am I fighting the mana? What if I get Wastelanded? Then I just cry and lose. So I guess I waste them. And I have to find my single momentum breaker. I think Prison Shops is pretty bad for Lurrus, but I don't know that. They got another Ancient Tomb and a Soul Ring. I think I'm going to negate the Soul Ring, pitching the Spell Pierce. And just hope that eats a turn. Yeah, cool. So I take 2. They've got 4 cards. I can brainstorm in response to something scary next turn. Polluted Delta's a banger, actually. Because I can get basic. And I think getting basic and cycling, or getting basic, or getting surveil, any of these are good. And I've got the Lorien as a shuffle for my brainstorm here, if I need it. It's an Urza Saga, so we'd quite like to find a wasteland. I just don't know if I'm supposed to brainstorm in response to this. Am I ever brainstorming into enough good things that... I guess if I'm brainstorming end step, I may as well brainstorm in response to this, because I can hit days. I'm going to get my basic island, and I'm going to brainstorm. Psychic Frog, Bowmaster, Bowmaster, Merchant Scroll. I'm going to put Merchant Scroll, Bowmaster back. I'll redraw the other Bowmaster in a moment. I'm going to take 3 here. I don't know if Frog gets me out of this. I don't know what gets me out of this. Are those cards good enough? I mean, I can't sit around all day, right? Maybe just making a thick Frog is going to be the play. Maybe my Wasteland on turn 1 was just actually awful and that's cost me the game. But both these creatures can get bigger than my Frog. Can I race? No, I don't think so. I mean, I can do a lot of chump blocking, right? I can do a lot of chump blocking, so the opponent's going to come in here for just 3, so they're willing to trade Etoustar token for my hand. So what does my turn next turn look like? It could just be Merchant for Ancestral, Cycle Lorien, develop a land. I like Merchant for Ancestral, but I think I like Cycle Lorien. I think I like Cycle Lorien, get an Underground Sea. Play an Underground Sea, take to the sky here. And I've got Bowmasters to block 1 to 2 of their guys. Next turn I've got Scroll for Ancestral. So I want to discard a Bowmaster to deal 2. You go to 12, you go to 10, you go to 8. You go to 7. Merchant for Ancestral. Discard 4 cards. You take 5. You're at 2. So that's off of if I discard here. Frog hits for 2, Tomb hits for 2, Tomb hits for 2. Bowman hits for 1, so that's 7 damage. And then I untap, I draw a card for the turn, I Merchant for Ancestor, I discard 4, I put you at 2. I'm going to discard a Bowmaster. No, I'm not. I'm just going to hit for 1 and get my card. Oh, so it'd be 1 because I've got another card. Okay, never mind. Maybe I fucked up. Lorien revealed. Okay. I'm going to hold up the Bowmasters. I'm probably going to need to do some chump blocking at some point soon. They're going to make another token. But then their Etoustar is going to get slightly smaller. They can tutor for something, but I can't imagine it's massively concerning for us. It's a Mana Vault. I mean, it might produce something massively concerning. It's a Manifold Key. Also, they've got Time Vault in their combo deck, in their aggro deck. The One Ring, holy hell. Well, I guess I just flash this in now in response. Hit your face. And then if you want to activate it, you can. They're going to take a lot of damage over the next turn or so. But so am I. But I can chomp with my army token this turn and get an additional blocker next turn. So I block the Etoustar. I take 12. Holy hell, that's a lot of damage. Okay. I take 12, I go to 2. Right? Everyone agreed? 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 blockers next turn. But one of them's a frog. Not in love with that, but I think that's better than blocking with a Bowmaster. They activate now so that the tokens go on this army token. They're at 2. I'm at 2. They're not at 2. That's a Black Lotus. So I can play Lurrus. I can cast Lurrus. That seems very good for me, doesn't it? Oh, they can make an unblockable thing with Manifold Key. How do I deal with a Manifold Key? I can't. No, I just can't deal with a Manifold Key, can I? Okay, so I lose. Although they need to produce a land, so I don't lose. They have got a One Ring. Or I could just lure in for Ancestral. But I don't have the mana for that. Oh, Merchant for Ancestral. I haven't made a land drop this turn, actually, so I can go Merchant, Lorien. You take 1 in your upkeep. You go to 7. You go to 5. So I guess I'm dead to combat if I tutor Ancestral, aren't I? No, because I can Ancestral. So I can Ancestral them for 3 points of damage. They're going to take 1 off the One Ring. They're going to take 1 off the Manifold. The Mana Vaults. They're at 6. They're going to take 2 off the Ancient Tomb. So they're at 4. And then I can bolt them down to a 1. And get an army token. And if your next land is Ancient Tomb, you're dead. But that seems like a really bad line. So maybe it is just block with Bowman is the play I've got. Do I want a Bowman now? No, because they're under the One Ring. I don't have a main deck Hercules, do I? No. So Merchant can get fuck all, really. Merchant can get Ancestral, but that's not really the world we're living in. It can't get Push. So 1, 2, 3, 4 damage themselves. I can damage them for 3. So I kind of have they missed a land drop yet this turn? Yeah, this game they have, but they've got a One Ring in play. So if they activate the One Ring, I give them 4 damage instead. So I guess I actually just pass here and hold up the Bowman, hold up the blockers. If they activate the One Ring, then I get to dome them for 4 and make the blockers that I need. If they just go land, activate Manifold Key, then I die. They're at 6. If their other land that they have is... Alright, so they don't have that. So I can flash in a Bowmaster. I can ping your face for 1. Okay. I now... If I pass, do I have to... Okay, so I now cycle Lorien, right? I know, because I might be able to cast Lorien next turn. But I've always got Merchant Ancestral, so I guess I Island Cycle and get myself an Underground Sea. And then I can block with everything that's not Lurrus. Oh, hang on. What if I block with everything that's not a frog? Draw a card. Frog just kills. It doesn't kill through a Stonecoil Serpent. They're dead to Lurrus anyway, aren't they? So damage happens. They draw 2 off the One Ring. They take 2. Oh no, they don't take. Yeah, they do take 2 off the Ancient Tomb if they do this. I can recast Bowmasters. I could have kept the frog there and traded off the Lurrus, because the frog can take to the sky as an attack. But I just thought replaying the Bowmaster seemed very good. That might be wrong. A lot of today might be wrong. But it's just how do I'm interested in how do I play this deck and why would I play this deck sort of thing. We were fortunate that they missed a land drop on the Manifold Key. They're going to 3 to develop something. Right, even if you develop like a Stonecoil Serpent or something, you get another One Ring. Okay. That kills that One Ring. That's really problematic for the home team. So I guess a Mox is lethal here. That's a Force of Will. So now I hate everything that I've done. So Merchant for Ancestral. Play a Bowmaster. I just can't do enough now, can I? So maybe it was trade off Frog. No, because that still doesn't work. Merchant for Ancestral doesn't actually make me enough mana. I think I still want to do it. So I don't know how else I get out of this. Jet Time Walk, that's quite cool. We'll cast both of those because we're struggling for other options at the moment. Time Walk, cast Lotus. I can't deal damage to them, but I'll attack anyway. So draw step, draw something good. Mishra's Bauble. I guess I want to Bauble myself. 1, because it informs of how I want to play my graveyard. 2, because I'm the only legal target. Momentum Breaker has like no amount of flash, right? No. So Momentum Breaker doesn't do it. Bowmaster doesn't do it. They just attack me, and I take 6. I gain 3. No, I think I'm just dead now, and I've wasted half my clock. Okay, fine. I think I concede. Sorry that I'm so slow, Mr. Kevin. So I think Momentum Breaker looks reasonable, but I've got these triple counter spells. Mind Break Trap's okay sometimes, but doesn't sound realistic to me. I get Basic Swamp, triple counter spell, more removal. I get rid of Misstep. I get rid of Daze. I get rid of Spell Bomb. I guess her Bauble's cuttable. Maybe the Bowmaster's a joke, but it's quite a good chump blocker with Lurrus, isn't it? I want all the things that say land on them. I guess I'm allowed to cut Spell Pierces when I'm bringing in Consigns and Steel Sabotage. That was tough. I feel like I should be able to win that, but I can't tell you how I would have won that through what our opponent produced. I think this is a keepable hand, right? I've got turn 1, Bauble myself, cycle Lorien to get a land. Turn 2, Momentum Breaker your Patchwork. Turn 3, produce a frog and be happy with my life. All that with Force of Will behind. So we have to play a bit faster, but that's fine. So Bauble, and we'll Bauble ourselves because we're interested in knowing if we're drawing another blue card or a land, I guess. It's a basic island, which is a bit of a banger, actually. So I think I can waste. Is it a banger, actually? Because I don't have a blue card for Force at that point. I think I take the island. It's just more lands against the shop stack. I might be pitching this frog, which is depressing, but Ancient Tomb. Patchwork. Okay. Black Lotus. Okay. I guess you can have a Lotus. I'm pretty invested in getting an Underground Sea this turn. So if this is a Nettle Cyst, I can get Sea. Is it Manifold Key? Sure. They're like an aggro dual deck, which is interesting to me. It's a top, which is going to draw them 1,000,000,000 cards a turn. So is it like Fleshraker shops? I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. No, I'm just going to draw an additional card with the Manifold Key, which is fine. I'm letting this all happen at the moment. I'm not sure if that's good, but I'm actually quite interested in just momentum breaking this patchwork and then fighting their future threats. I don't think I'm too concerned about anything else. I think I just need to control the creatures. Yeah, I'm going to take 6 or 7 here, but kill your creature, kill your creature. Hopefully draw another blue card on the way, or just pitch my frog to another creature. And then at some point, our opponent won't have resources. Maybe that's not true, because I've let them resolve a top twice this game. So they will have, in fact, have resources, but... Okay, so they can't attack us. We Island Cycle a Lorien, which I could have done in response, but I'm just quite interested in having the basics in my hand, you know? It's an Underground Sea. I get to screw the Misty. I'm going to play the Momentum Breaker. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or vehicle of their choice. So that's going to kill their single threat at the moment. I start my speed. My speed is fast. Faster than theirs. So we're winning the game on 1 metric at the moment. Urza Saga's fine. I've got a Wasteland in play. Opponent's got access to 6 mana this turn, though. So I guess they drop like a Worm Coil or another card. The other one, oh fuck, that's really bad for me. Okay. By really bad, I mean I'd die. Opponent's going to draw some cards with Vault Key, Top Key. Which again isn't great, but it's okay. They play another Key. They play another Top. Well, they untap a Mana Crypt, which means they get to top and fiddle around with their cards. I do apologise to my opponent. I can't believe I'm almost 7 minutes down on someone playing Sensei's top. Bit of an indictment in my speed of play in game 1. Okay. Our turn 3. Steel Sabotage is pretty sick. I guess here I just Wasteland the Urza Saga. We can't have that in play. We play the Misty, because if I don't need to use both my spells, I can get an Undercity Sewers. I can Surveil a Black Lotus to the top of my deck and buy Lurrus or something like that. So the cat wins the flip. I can't count how much mana and how many cards they can draw here. Oh, hang on. What happens if I just bounce the top? Nothing good. Okay. I'll counter the top on the way back down, I imagine. Just stop all of that. Because they're going to draw 1,000,000,000 extra cards here. I think this is a bit too much. They draw 2 extra cards and get their top back in their hand. I think that all needs to stop. That's a Mishra's Workshop. Patchwork Automaton. I can kill that next turn. That's fine. Nettle Cyst. Do I care about Nettle Cyst? I don't think so. I'm killing one of these. I want to counter the top. So I'm going to fetch my Undercity. I'm going to have a look. I'm going to hope it's a Black Lotus. It's a Time Walk. Okay, put that on top. And then I'll push the Nettle Cyst token. I can reset the Sabotage later if I want to. I draw a card. And I'll just walk. I'll just play a land and cast a walk just to cycle through it. Maybe that was bad. Maybe I should have pushed it. Although I get to produce a land, right? And if I draw a land here, then I get to just literally explore. I draw a Sapphire. I think that's an acceptable thing. So if I don't tap my basic island, I can purchase Lurrus here. I can counter their top. How much am I taking though? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus whatever's in hand. 7, 8 off the top cast. Yeah, I don't like this actually. Maybe I was supposed to break with momentum first. That's the Fleshraker. That's going to really damage us quite hard. We've got to counter the top. But now I'm just going to take infinite damage off of this Fleshraker and I'll never be able to get back into it. So they can equip the Nettle Cyst to the Patchwork and attack me for however much that is. 37 or something. Oh, they've got a 1 ring. Alright. Alright. Okay, it's round 2. We're up against Gaheeds. I've got a cat. Not delighted about that fact, but I do have one. Okay, so what does this do? Turn 1, push or daze, then Saga. I guess we can keep this. Turn 1 push, I imagine, though. Over dazing things. Let's play out the sea. Go for the turn 2 Saga into turn 3 make a token. And then after that, I'm going to have a Bowmaster in play. And I would have countered their spell. And then I'll start making tokens at some point. I'll exile this frog to force of will. Okay, we get Wastelanded, which is not ideal. Not ideal at all. I mean, I do have a Saga. I wouldn't hate to draw a Moxjet here. So Wasteland of my own. Do I want to play Wasteland before I play Urza's Saga? Or do I want to play Urza's Saga to get rolling towards Lotus? I guess Urza's Saga to go towards mana is better. I don't know, though. I know I'm coming off of the idea of tokens completely unless I draw a Moxen, but I feel far behind the Gaheeds player here. What the fuck is that? Okay, I don't feel far behind at all. I just feel stupid. Lush Portico. Right, so, okay, so that's a Crucible World. So what, yeah, I was going to say, what possesses someone to play a tapped green-white land in the Vintage format at the moment? I guess, and then they discard a Crucible. So I guess they're on like the Not Me Lands deck, like a lands combo. This nerd pops up a bit. They're gonna be on like 48 lands. We just need to counter their good lands, and we need to counter their holy hell, the lag is insane. And we need to counter their cards that push more lands into play, like fast bonds and explorations and stuff. Sorry, explorations and stuff. Like that fast bond there, I need to counter. I'll pitch a frog, I guess. No, I'll pitch a daze. They play a wasteland. That cuts me off mana again. I'll untap, see what I draw, and then consider wasting them. But Treasure Cruise, sure. I guess I'm not allowed lands. I hate Delve spells. The Delve spells stop you from being able to pass a turn. So far, they've got a Bazaar of Baghdad. I'm so envious. Like, look at how bad my hand is. And they just get to play Bazaar of Baghdad. And I've got to sit here with Fatal Pushes and Psychic Frogs for the next 40 hours because this deck's so slow. Sphere, Tab, Archon. Okay, so they're not on a lands combo deck at all. I get a Psychic Frog, banger. This deck looks sick. I want to play their deck. Basic Forest, Fast Bond. Passes a turn. I get a Bauble. I'm going to look at the top card of my deck. I need it to be a land. It's an Orcish Bowmasters. Okay, fine. We draw Bowman. Full House. Smokestack Tangle, Null Rod. Oh god. Mox Pearl. Look at that deck. Oh god. I hate the trophy. I want to play this. Archon of Emeria. So if I one day hit a land... Nah, fuck this. Let's go to the next game. Green White Prison. What a world. What a world we live in. So what do you want against Green White Prison? I guess I want a Crypt. Momentum Breaker seems fine. I think I can cut a push because I'm going to bring in a Snuff out for the Archons. Consigned to Memory, no. Grafdigger's Cage doesn't really stop anything, does it? No. Yuxia Jailer doesn't do anything against Crucible. Momentum Breaker looks like a fine way to kill an Archon. I want to cut a push and just... Maybe I just bring in a Consign anyway. Oh no, I still need to cut cards. So Swamp, Snuff Out, Crypt, I think I like. I'm just going to cut the pushes. I got Momentum Breaker and Snuff Out to kill an Archon with, and I've got all the permission. Really don't know how... I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not an expert in Blue-Black Lurrus versus Selesnya Prison. I haven't actually studied this matchup as much as I should have. I apologise for not being on this much of the cutting edge of the metagame. Here I have Basic Land, Force of Negation, Psychic Frog, Orcish Bowmaster. So I keep this. I guess I bottom the Bowmaster and keep the Bauble. No, I'm just going to drop the Bauble. I don't care. I've got cards. They're multiplying. Play the Swamp, die to Strip Mine. I think that's an absolutely fine place to be. They've got a Black Lotus. Do we just say absolutely not to that? I think so. I think that's a fine thing to say no to. Because if they play an Archon, then I cry. Hopefully they play a tap land. Fuck you. This game, man. Okay. My land is dead. I get it. Right. Okay. All is forgiven. I play a Psychic Frog. You'll go. Right. We top decked out of getting strip mined to death. I'm interested to see my opponent's plan against a Psychic Frog. That's a Bazaar of Baghdad. Okay. I'm fine with developing this frog before the Bazaar, but I will sorcery speed this Bowman, I imagine. Depends on what I draw off draw stepping frog, to be honest, but Smokestack, Oracle of Moldiah, and a Ghostly Prison. My man is over there. This is sick. Oh, misses a land drop though. Oh no, he's played a land. It was turn 2. He strip mined me turn 1. Okay, cool. So we draw. We attack for 1. Because a strip mine of our own is probably a pretty big game here. I get Spell Pierce. I don't actually need to sorcery speed this because it's not actually that face up. Like I've just got a bunch of cards. Maybe it's quite face up because I didn't purchase Lurrus. But maybe I want to filter with Undercity, and maybe that's better for me than Lurrus, right? I don't have anything. Don't have a consign at the moment, so that just happens. So we'll fetch end step and get a Surveil land of our own. Oracle of Mordia. I love the idea that you're coming out here with the expectation to get to 4 mana. Like, I know you've got fast bond and stuff, but I just can't imagine getting to 4 mana in a game of Vintage these days. He said it's about to play his 4th land, but with like the Bizarre decks, that's just not something I ever imagine. Lotus is a bit of a banger. So what? Lotus, Lurrus, Lotus. I want to play Wasteland. I want to play Black Lotus. I want to Wasteland. I want to Wasteland your Bazaar and just flash in my Bowman. You don't want to activate your Bazaar. Okay. So I'll just buy Lurrus and develop Lurrus then. And that's our opponent's go. Strange that they didn't activate in response. Them saying that their hand is perfect is a bit concerning for the home team. So I just flash in a Bowman now, don't I? Increase the problems to the opponent. I get to play my Lotus again and get my mana back, so it doesn't matter. Got to be concerned about what comes out of this saga, I guess, but I'll attack first, just because if I hit a Mishra's Bauble, I'll probably be more interested in that happening twice. Opponent falls to 11, we draw a card. We get a Mishra's Bauble exactly, so now I can bauble myself. I've got a dig 3 time on top of my deck. That seems good. I can cast a bauble. I can bauble you. You've got Sphere of Resistance on top of your deck. That sounds fine as well. Cool. I draw 2 cards, and this deck sure is dope when it hums, right? It's a Time Walk. Our opponent's so incredibly dead. I play a Forest. 3 mana makes a Ghostly Prison, which will just Spell Pierce. Ghostly Prison's cool. Just absolutely lights out against the other Bazaar decks. And now we win. So we untap. We draw for the turn. We cast Time Walk. Yeah, cool. Okay, I'm going to resubmit. I'm still working out what they're doing, but I think just having permission and my threats is good. And we know that one of their threats is Archon of Emeria and Momentum Breaker, and both of those will die to Snuff Out and Oracle of Mordia. And we know that they will die to both Snuff Out and Momentum Breaker, but they won't die to Push. So, well, they will, but you know, not as efficiently. We've got a Lurrus of the Dream Den. This hand looks good. I've got my swamp that can get strip mined again. What is this swamp? This is some nonsense artwork. No offense to Martin de Diego Sabala, but it's not the Meridian ones I like. I'm going to keep this. Force Double Days and a threat. Mox Emerald. Vexing Buble. I guess I negate Pitching Days. No, I Force of Will Pitching Days. Because the negation, if I get to my turn and cast Lotus, I can just cast negation. Super Seiju who endures. I can just go basic swamp, Black Lotus. Ooh, I can go Underground Sea, Black Lotus. Play a frog. Play a bowman. Bow your face. Pew pew. And then now I have cards in play. I don't have the negation. They've got a workshop. So I wonder what they can come with. Tangle Wire. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's going to buy them some time, isn't it? So all my permanents get tapped. Goodbye. I draw. Swamp. And I will roll out the Pearl because I want to get less tangled next turn. Opponent's going to tap all but one of their permanents. So they've got more artifacts. So Tangle, Emerald, Besays, you get tapped. So no Archon, no Oracle this turn. This is going to be another Tangle. Yep. So all our permanents get tapped. And we draw a card. Underground Sea. So next turn I'm getting tangled for 5 permanents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I still deploy the sea, right? Opponent gets tangled for 5 permanents, so that's all of them. So they get tapped out. They've got 3 cards in hand. 4 after their draw step to... Sorry for moving things around. 4 after their draw step to find something good to do. Another workshop. Another tangle. Crucible of Worlds, okay. Fine. But now I only get tangled for 5, which means I can have a blue mana and a Psychic Frog. So those 2. And that one. Dorian Revealed is a blue card, and I think that's better for me for now. Let's take our card first of all. That's another blue card. So I'm going to cycle one of these to get my Undershitty. And I'll play that. Now I've got blue card Force up. Do I want another Force? Probably. Yeah, why not? I don't know who that hurts. So they get tangled for 3. I then get tangled for 3, but I then have just everything open all the time, I guess. Well, I don't have a land. If I force a will, if I force a negation this turn, I won't have the land. But the tangle's kind of done its thing, and this is kind of like the turn where the opponent needs to capitalize on the fact that I've been tangled and restricted. However, through the tangles, I've been able to get together negation Lorien, and they're in a position where a strip lock's not going to do the job. Fast bond's not allowed to resolve. I think that's just a fact of life. And they've got another tangle. So tangle me harder, daddy. And then so we're gonna get tangled for 7. 5, 6, 7. I still get my frog hit. I've got a Force of Will on top, so I'm attacking to draw a blue card. I don't know the wording on companion. I can't activate I can't buy my companion upkeep, can I? Well, this turn that would be bad even if I could. I want a blue card. That's Bowman. Okay, so one thing with Tangle Wire though is it only hits your untapped stuff. So anything you do in your upkeep, the rest of it's going to get tangled. So no Force of Will available for us, but only 1 card for the opponent. Alright, 2 cards. 2 non-workshop mana are available. Black Lotus is a decent one. That's for white, which I guess makes an Archon. Yeah, cool. Cool. I how many get tangled? 4. 1, 2. So 1, 2. Right, 4, but not 4 total. I need to undo that yield. Okay. Now I can attack with both. DT's a nice draw. They can't really block the frog. They can block the Orc Army token, but me attacking like this tells them I'm holding an Orcish Bowmasters, which will kill the Archon of Emeria. Or at least that's the story I'm saying. And like, do I attack like this if they're going for the frog? Then I just discard Force of Will to make a 2/3. Then I flash in a Bowmaster and ping your Archon. And then everything dies. You take 2. Your Archon's gone. You get tangled. I feel like this is. I feel like they've not capitalized on their Tangle Wire draws. Like the cards generated by Tangle Wire from me being tapped out for a few turns, they just weren't able to capitalize on. And during that Tangle Stacks period, I managed to find the Force Blue card. So I think now that I'm only getting tangled for 2, I'm kind of free. And I'm just going to DT for an Ancestral, and I don't know what my opponent's plan against that is when they're hellbent in upkeep sort of thing. Bazaar of Baghdad. It's a tough one. Okay, my opponent's probably dead on board now. So they got Lush Portico and Ancient Tomb. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 is my card in hand. So yeah, opponent dies. Yeah, we win. Okay, cool deck though. That was fun. I did enjoy that. Round 3, we're up against Toxic 1, 2, 3. I got turn 1 Ancestral. Sure. Keep that, right? Next question: Basic Island or Underground Sea? I think I just get the Underground. I'm drawing 3 cards. How bad can it be? Yeah, no, I kind of want to just cement that black mana in play. Okay, you'll go. No plays. Oh, Polluted Delta, Moxjet, Fetches, Cast DT. Okay. I kind of want to hold and not fight that because next turn I get to have Spell plus Force of Will up, right? So I get to play a Bauble. I get to Bauble you, I presume. You've got a Brainstorm on top of your deck, okay. And I play a Wasteland and I Wasteland your sea. The Bauble's nice because it keeps me under 8 cards going through my end step, but I go back up to 8 on their upkeep. Their Sea's dead. I've got Spell Pierce plus Force of Will up for their Doomsday. I've got Force of Will, Spell Pierce. That's nice. Underground Sea. And pass. I'd love another land to try and deploy a frog with double force behind. Am I willing to brainstorm into said double land? Probably not. Or maybe I am. Yeah, I think so, actually. There's only one brainstorm, and if I get locked, I'm still not dying during the time I'm locked. And if they fight it, then I just don't care. Okay, so push can go back. Frog can go back. I'm going to pick up the frog again. Do I deploy frog or do I just wasteland opponent? I have spell pierce for that. Okay, so I just wasteland opponent then I guess. Based on this. So spell pierce resolves. I draw another frog. I kind of don't want the push though. So maybe I just deploy Undercity or play Misty. I think I like Misty because then I get Spell Pierce, double Force of Will. And I can fetch away the push. And then the following turn can be some combination of Frog and or Wasteland. The Brainstorm I think I've got to let go. I don't think I can fight every single thing they put on the stack. Yeah, it's a very good Brainstorm because they've got the fetch land to go with it. But me Force of Willing a Brainstorm is not particularly enjoyable. And I think push is worse than playing a tapped Undercity later on in the game. They've got 5 cards in hand. I can just fetch now and get an Underground Sea because they're not going to be wastelanding me with their Doomsday deck. Get a DT. Let's play Undercity Sewers. Mental Misstep on top of my deck. I do like that. Is this the turn I can play a frog? I think so. I'm going off Spell Pierce, but I still have double Force of Will. I won't fight this. Say Force Pitching Fluster. I've got double Force if it's needed, but I've also got Misstep on top of my deck as well. I've got a Ponder. And we've done kind of well at grinding through their cards so far. They're on 4 cards in hand after this Ponder resolves. We're still on 6. I mean, I've only interacted with them once, but they've interacted back with me on a Force of Will. So oh, and I resolved an Ancestral. That makes a big difference, doesn't it? That does make a big difference. All right, 4 cards for the opponent. They're fetching off of the Misty. And if we have a big counter battle this turn that results in me pitching both of my cards, then I can just DT for dig through time next turn. They've got force back pitching Chain of Vapor, and I think I do just force back, and if they've got a Daze, then we cry. I've got Misstep on top of my deck, which can counter a DT or a Dark Ritual or something. But I think now that we've had that exchange, I want to cast a DT for dig through time. If I can find one of those. Probably under D. Yeah, there it is. And I'll cast my dig now, because they've only got 1 card. The only thing I lose to is Daze, and they would have dazed last turn if they had it, I think. Leave some cards in the graveyard. Good grief. So I get Daze, Bowmaster, or Daze and Wasteland? I guess Daze and Wasteland. I'd already made a land drop this turn. So if they tap 3 lands and play a Doomsday, I've got the Daze. If they play Dark Ritual, I've got the other one. Now I get to double Wasteland them and buy a Lurrus. So Wasteland you. Okay. Change zone. We'll change thing. Nothing happens. Cool story. Wasteland you, buy a Lurrus. Probably should have wasted it in combat, but you know. Our opponent has 2 cards and no lands in play, 3 cards and no lands in play. I'm happy with that. And they're not playing any lands. So that's all cool. Let's have a look at what you're doing. Is that Dark Ritual? 3 cards. So how did the Brainstorm get revealed? How am I so confused by this? So I'll pass the turn. I think they're holding Preordained Dark Ritual, Force of Will. So my Daze is kind of dead, but I liked having it the turn I said about it. They find a Misty, I flash in a Bowman. Bowman gets forced, that resolves a Lurrus. If Bowman doesn't get forced, then that's going to carry the game. Cool. So they're holding Dark Ritual then. Oh, Brainstorm got revealed off of my thing earlier, didn't it? My Brainstorm got revealed off of my Bauble earlier. I can cast a Bauble now. I'll Bauble them because I can't interact at the top of my deck. I know they've got a Misty there. They would be drawing a Flutterstrand. This is probably the time that they fetch, though. Yep. And this is obviously not what I usually play, but this is a deck I find somewhat enjoyable to try and pilot, you know? And our opponent's proper up against it now that we've resolved the Lurrus. I'm not saying that countering the Bowmaster was wrong, but it seemed tough to counter the Bowmaster and let the known Lurrus resolve on my untap, right? Because I bought the Lurrus previously. Opponent having a bit of a think about this Undercity. They've conceded the game, which seems fine. So what do I have that's against Doomsday? There's this Mindbreak trap that's interesting. And these 2 consigned to memories. Do they just replace pushes? I'll probably cut the Spell Bomb and bring in the Snuff out as well, right? And then I've got 2 answers to a Murktide Regent plus some combo stuff, and the Spell Bomb doesn't seem very good. I don't know if that's right, but I like the idea. Or maybe it's not supposed to be Snuff out, maybe it's just supposed to be another breaker. Nah, that's rubbish. I want the 0 mana shit. But two answers to Murktide, and if we go to game 2 and they reveal they've actually got Shieldred instead of a Murktide, then we swap it for another push or breaker at that point. So some things I say make sense in my head. Other things do not. Okay, so Toxic 1, 2, 3 is on the play this time. We've got a cat. Force, 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 Force. Bauble, Lorien, Bowmaster. I think this hand looks pretty cracked for the home team. We're not dying, and we've got threats, and we've got mana, depending on how it all goes. One issue with this is my hand very much wants me to pitch Force to Force, but I'm unsure if that's an acceptable way to go, you know? I'd love to draw a land. I did not. So I guess I just go jet, bauble, bauble myself. Is it ancestral recall? No, it is a land, but I think I'd rather make a land drop now than have that land. So I'm going to cycle Lorien, grab Underground Sea. Yeah, because I don't want to daze off of an Undercity, because that's so slow. I'd rather have untap land next turn for my Psychic Frog. They've got the Undercity. We get to draw a mystery card in their upkeep. We've got days available if we want it. We've got Merchant Scroll, which is a tasty one, but it's also one that can pitch nicely to a Force of Will. So I'm actually quite invested in this days and Frog. I don't know why I'm so invested in the days, to be honest with you. Maybe I shouldn't be. Let's see what they hit us with here, though, because this could be just like turn 3 playing Necro or something. I don't know if they're allowed to play Necro post-boarding against me. So Brainstorm, Scalding Tarn, pass to us. Lorien revealed. I'll cycle Lorien. I'll get myself another C. I'll play the C, and then I'll pass the turn, I think. Our opponent's done well at sculpting, keeping cards in hand, and I think I'd rather have my 3 permission pieces and use my Bowman as a threat rather than deploy the Frog. Maybe I'm supposed to like try and navigate into a position where I'm actually just merchanting and resolving Ancestral. But I actually feel like my 2 threats are more important than an Ancestral at the moment. Bowmaster just makes it hard for them to live. And then, please don't ask me why I didn't flash in the Bowmaster in response to the Ponder. I don't have an answer for you. I just didn't really think. I was talking about other things. So, I'm still going to flash in the Bowmaster. I don't care. Yeah, I kind of played poorly, but I don't think I protect Bowmaster. I think I want to protect Frog if I'm protecting a threat. Well, Bowmaster just lands, so now I probably just don't deploy Frog until I've got yet another permission card in hand. Just attack. I've got Force Pitch Days. Do I even need to? I could just Merchant for Ancestral here, can't I? You'll go. Opponent pushes my Bowman. I've got a 1/1, which seems really good on this board. They've got 5 cards, we've got 5 cards. They know one of our cards is Ancestral. They go for a Dark Ritual. And then they cycle a Street Wraith. Cool sequencing, that's weird. Is the Dark Ritual bait? Or is it just a Murktide? They then cruise. With 3 mana available. So I guess I need to respond with Ancestral. They're going to fluster me. They're not going to fluster me. Okay. I draw my Undercity. That's dope. I guess they can cruise. And the reason I've let them cruise here is I'm concerned that the Doomsday is just the bigger threat. Now that they've committed that mana, it means I'm going to beat a Flusterstorm on Doomsday, but I'm not sure if I can beat anything else. Maybe the Doomsday isn't what I fight. Maybe I fight the pile. They've got so many lands. At the moment, they're playing around Spell Pierce a lot. Jeez. Okay. So my taxing spells don't do anything. That's for sure. So the first thing that's going to get pitched here is probably just the days. But the fact that they've got all this mana just means they're not going to be very good at protecting their Doomsday or getting into their pile. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to waste land them out of this game. I could still get quite comfortably Murktided. Necropotence. Necropotence gets discounted. 2 cards, Doomsday Fluster would be good. Nice pass the turn pile. Blue, blue, and 1. It looks like it's a Murktide. Which I think I'm priced into countering. Yeah, they've got 1 card left over. And then that's that. Guess I don't need to do anything with my lands. I get a wasteland, sure. So I can buy Lurrus, play the Undercity, get rid of a Sapphire, pass to your turn, and now my supermarket shop's arrived, so I need to go and do that. I've got a couple of minutes on them. Okay, so opponent did some stuff, used all their cards, we countered both of them. They untap, they cast a Doomsday, we're very far behind. Okay. Do they have Ponder and do we die? Because they've got 2 cards in hand. No, I don't know if they've just top decked the Doomsday or not, but if they've got a cantrip, we're dead. If they've not got a cantrip, we get to play a Bowmaster. I'm not sure. Not sure how good that is. So what, opponent's going to be at 6, opponent's going to be at 5. Okay, so opponent has resolved a Doomsday and passed the turn to us. So it's a pass the turn pile. We're going to fetch upkeep because I'm done drawing lands for the day. Sorry, I lied. I'm not done drawing lands today. So here's the deal. It's like, what's better for me? Is it to... I attack you for 5. I attack you for 1. You go to 4. You can't really Ancestral yourself. So it could be a Gush pile. So I think it is just play this and just play Lurrus and jam a Bowman and hope it beats the pile, right? So opponent falls to 5. We play a Lurrus. We play a Wasteland to play around days. And then we flash in a Bowman at sorcery speed. We Bowman you to 4. We Wasteland your... Sure, whatever. Who cares? I don't have anything. You've got blue. That's great, Bromeo. Opponent goes to 4. Untap, Gush down to 2. Play Thoracle and win. Yep. I'm just a point short here. Yeah. You. And if their Thoracle's 1 card too deep, then we win. No, we don't. Not even that. We need their Thoracle to be their bottom card, and for them to have made a nonsense pile like that. But No. Cool. Good game. That was a cool one. Am I still happy with how we're built? I think so. I'm sure there's an argument to having a spell bomb in instead of one of these removal spells. But I don't think I'm a true believer in that. I've got a cat, I'm on the play. We're up against Doomsday. This hand looks fantastic. So let's keep this. Sit down again. And then probe your face. Okay, so misstep, force of will, push, consult, Doomsday, gush. I went on the city sewers. I've got force of will on top. Please and thank you. So maybe last game I just didn't deploy a threat fast enough. Back to me. I draw force of will. And I just roll out a frog, I think. A frog that I'm probably interested in fighting over. Oh no, they've got a push. I'm not interested in fighting over. Push, misstep. That just gets through. They're going to push it. I'm going to misstep it. They're going to misstep my push. I force back. That leaves them with uncontested Doomsday, but I have a frog. Is that a game I want to play? We trade all of our blue cards. And you would have had 2 blind draws to find Ritual or Lotus. I think that's fine. I think winning is... or at least killing is a way I win. Oh, they've found another force. Their hand is literally just... I don't know. Consult Doomsday. Okay, cool. My frog's dead. I've got no cards. Wait, did I just count that all wrong? You push, I misstep. You misstep, I force, you force. Also, we traded everything for a frog and I was just stupid. Is that right? Seems how it is. Huh. Okay. Can they kill me this turn? I don't believe it. I'm gonna buy Lurrus. I'm not sure how I fucked that up. So, or did I plan on trading all my resources and then winning the battle? So strange. I guess DT. For Lotus. Cast Lotus. Cast Lurrus. And I just cast Lotus, right? I don't cast the frog. So I don't want to tap out of Consign, and now I've got Consign for 5. I'm not consigning that, though. Doomsday goes into the bin. I think I've made some very questionable plays. They've got Console and Doomsday in hand. They can't cast. They now know the joke. They've drawn a dig through time. Sorry, during game 2, whilst my opponent was resolving Doomsday in tune, I'm just really confused about how I messed up. I probed you. I played a frog knowing you had push. I can then misstep push. You misstep back. I force of will your misstep. You force of will me. And I was happy with that trade. Yeah, because it stranded everything. And then I was able to buy Lurrus and rebuy the frog. But instead of rebuying the frog, I rebought the Lotus. Because I wanted to hold up Consign for a turn. But Consign doesn't beat a second Fatal Push. And now I don't have anything relevant. But you are going to kill me through my own Consign. Which means I probably need to draw Snuff Out or Momentum Breaker. Orcish Bowmasters is a cool one. Black Lotus. Doomsday. My opponent is building a pile in which they know about my consign. They do not know about my Bowmaster. If they're winning right now, I don't know if the Bowmaster matters. I really don't like how I've played this. But then everything made sense to me. They cycle a street race, so I flash in a Bowman. That probably kills them, actually. That's probably really hard to get through, unless the Thoracle's the top card. Yeah, that 2-life cycle really hurt, and the top deck Bowman actually does it. But if they made Thoracle the top card here, then they'd go to 2, and then they'd be able to go Thoracle Consult, and then die to the known consign. Okay. Weird game. I got lucky. I just played like a twat halfway through it, I think. Okie dokie. So we're up against Nico pre-top. We're on the draw. And like, I kind of know the opponent is usually on Sphere Shops, so I don't think this is a keepable hand against that. I'm going to take a mulligan. I've got Force of Will, I've got a Daze, I've got a Spell Pierce. At some point in my life I might have a Frog. I think this is acceptable, if not inspiring. But we can like Force of Will pitching something, try and Merchant into an Ancestral to find our second black mana and push the game from there. We've got an answer to a Saga or an Academy rolled up. Oh, what am I putting on the bottom? Maybe just the Daze? Daze can be pretty clutch against Shops though. Maybe the Frog, but the Frog is what I'm trying to build towards. But I think actually I'm probably just pitching the Daze or Frog that I don't put on the bottom. Maybe Merchant's not real. I'll keep this. I think one of the soft permission spells goes actually. So I'm going to put the Daze back. And see how far through the game I get before I have to make a Force of Will decision. Workshop. Patchwork. Patchwork always kills me. I can't remove this easily. Opponent also took a mulligan to 6. Am I just supposed to like pitch my Frog or pitch my Merchant? I think I've got to let it resolve because a Prison Piece just kills me, doesn't it? Like Mox Sphere, and it's like, oh, I lose, cool. Chalice of the Void on 0. I actually don't think that's a Prison Piece I'm interested in fighting. I appreciate it's going to annoy my baubles later, but I don't think I care. Right, Wasteland or... No. You've got 3 cards. Maybe Wasteland is dope. I think I still want to deploy this, actually. So I want the Wasteland for like a Saga or something. I can still Spell Pierce them or Force of Will them. That will depend on how they sequence. Like, if they've got to play a land to develop a card, then I'll be more inclined to Spell Pierce. But if they don't develop a land and they play a threat, then I won't Spell Pierce it. I'll just Force of Will it, because I don't want to get Wastelanded. Wasted on the land. And I think it's time for the Frog to go. So I take 3. They have a Wasteland. Okay. Well, we'll just untap then. We'll probe you. Well, maybe. And see what you're actually working with over there. You got Ghost Quarter, Ghost Quarter. My Bauble's dead. Ghost Quarter is a bit savage. So if I just play Wasteland, wasteland your workshop, I guess. No, I kind of need the mana, don't I? Maybe I just have to pass. Like, you can't cast spells. I think I do wasteland the shop. I'm just under so much pressure. I don't know how to navigate this matchup well enough. And they're going to play a Ghost Quarter, which is really problematic for my one basic island. Maybe pitching the Frog was awful because I don't actually have an avenue to merchant. I've got a Ghost Quarter. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like anything about what I've done. So, I'm certainly dying to this fucking patchwork. They've got another Ghost Quarter. Okay. I really dislike that wasteland activation with the way that played out. Maybe I'm just not allowed to. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to drop a couple of spell pierces. I'm going to drop a few pushes. Because the momentum breakers are better. The snuff out is easier to cast. And then I cut like a daze or something. Oh, the misstep, the misstep, the misstep, the misstep. And the fuck. Okay, I've got a misstep in my deck. Right, so what's a Nihil Spellbomb as well? Good grief, that was some awful sideboarding. Let's keep this though, because it has got text boxes. How do I feel about Lorien Cycle? Not great. I wish I'd played my tap land. Yeah, I'll just sabotage that. I don't mind getting wastelanded, I don't think. I've got an Undercity that can filter lands. Ancient Tomb. I'll play a Spell Bomb. I'll play an Undercity. I'll keep the Underground Sea on top. So we pass back to the opponent, who's now going to have 60 billion mana. Maybe I should have wasted, but I feel like me having more permanent mana sources is better. We've got an Ancient Tomb. A Trinosphere, which is fine, because I'm kind of flush for lands at the moment. This allows them to resolve a Stonecoil Serpent. Okay, they've only got one card left. So I'm just going to play Underground Sea. Do I buy Lurrus and take 3? I think so. Crucible of Worlds. Okay. Wasteland. And you wasteland me. Okay. So I'll bomb the graveyard in a moment, I imagine. Do I want my card though? I don't think so. I think I just take that medicine. Play the wasteland. deploy the Lurrus. I feel like deploying Lurrus doesn't do anything. I can Merchant for Ancestral, but that's very slow, but it does get me a lot of cards. And that's the only way I can really get cards at the moment. The other options are just pay 4 life, kill your Stonecoil Serpent, and cross my fingers. I think playing to the board is decent. I know that... No, actually, no. Alright. Playing to the board doesn't do much. I think I just want to get the Ancestral Recall and assume our opponent's not going to do anything relevant next turn where they have no cards in hand or in graveyard. I missed out a little bit of value, but I wouldn't have been casting a spell. If they draw a Ghost Quarter or a Wasteland, then sure, I'm going to lose. But they draw a Sol Ring. Okay. Sol Ring is the sort of brick we were on board for. They're going to hit me for 3. I draw a Swamp. Means I can probably just deploy Lurrus. Do I just want an Ancestral to get myself going? Well, at that point, my thing was off. I'm just going to deploy Lurrus. So one thing on the Snuff Out is, yes, I've got to pay 3 mana for it. I can also just pay 4 mana for it. But what happens if I snuff out this guy and then they just tap 12 mana and make another one, you know? Or a Lodestone Golem. So in comes the Stonecoil. Down goes the Lodestone Golem. In goes the Lurrus. I go back to 14, they're at 7. At some point they've got to stop attacking me to preserve their ancient tombs. They've got Sphere of Resistance, but I don't think I care about. Ancestral myself. Play Urza's Saga. And pass the turn. I'm not going to play the Spell Bomb because I've got the Consign. So I can counter their next spell. Nettle Cyst, that's one that I'm fine countering. That buys my time for the Saga to get rolling. Underground Sea. Now I've got a Saga. Do I want a Spell Bomb here? No. I'd rather have a Bowmaster. They've got an Academy that's got no text, and now my Saga takes over. Oops, I passed. Never mind. My Saga can just get a Moxen of some variety, I presume. Paying 3 for Lurrus things doesn't sound great. So let's just get ourselves a Sapphire and be happy. Play a Strip Mine. Cast a Psychic Frog. Attack for 3. Not worried if we trade off here. Opponents go and the game's over, so... Interesting things there in that the Snuff Out did something and it was cool. The Stonecoils make me want the pushes back. The Spell Bomb looked decent. I'm going to cut it. I'm on the draw, so I want the Mind Break. I don't like the Misstep. That's one thing that we didn't like. I don't think these Bowmasters are actually very good, so I'm going to cut one of those as well. maybe my spell pierce is supposed to be a push, and my actual cutting is the 3 spell pierces and the misstep leave, and here a bowmaster and a spell bomb, and I get basic swamp, mindbreak trap, snuff out, second breaker, consigned to memory, steel sabotage is what comes in. There's one more card somewhere that. Oh, and days is gone. So better permission suite, especially on the draw with the mindbreak trap, and then an additional land and 2 removal spells. That makes sense, right? That makes sense, like a nice sideboard. Swaps the Rue. Okay. I'm not sure about the baubles, just because the baubles, when they get taxed, are horrible. But a lot of what I just said out loud makes like actual logical sense, as if someone's thought about it. Here we've got 40 lands. And is 40 lands good? I think it could be good. Like, this frog's so big. Opponent kept 7 as well, which isn't lovely. So land, Soul Ring. Well, Emerald Soul Ring, Mana Crypt. Is the frog that good, though? Stone Coil for X equals 2, which isn't too dramatic. And then a Sphere of Resistance, which is quite dramatic for us. They've got 2 cards left in hand. I've got a Polluted Delta. They've got no lands in play. They have a Mana Crypt flip. So we're obviously looking to... Well, I don't know what I'm looking for, but I could just get Basic Island. I could get Undercity Sewers. I think it depends on how many Wastelands they put into play this turn. They've got a 4 mana play. And Nettle Cyst. Okay. I can't counter that at the moment. That's very big. They don't have a land, so I'm going to play this Undercity Sewers. I don't want an Orcish Bowmasters. I'm far more interested in Fatal Pushes at the moment. It's a Psychic Frog. Oh, but I can't play the Psychic Frog, you dumb. Okay. So we're just taking the clean and easy 8 here. I am going to counter that. I have a 1 mana play. Another Stone Coil. So our frogs don't look great. So just 9 points to the dome. But now I can play a Saga. If I play a frog, how much damage do I prevent? 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't play a frog, so I've got to play a Bowmaster out this turn to kill the 1/1, chump the 7/7, or bigger, whatever it is. I can't negate anything, otherwise I just die. It's a patchwork. Okay. In comes the squad. Down goes the 1/1. So 1/1 dead. And I think I just chump here. I don't think I'm allowed to go to 1. Saga ticks up. Wasteland in. What's better, frog or Saga token? I guess the frog's better than the Saga token. because the frog is going to trade with a patchwork. Not trade with, but beat. I can leave up negation. I'm going to block the 7/7. The patchwork won't be able to attack. I can cycle Lorien. Maybe I was supposed to play my bauble actually. But I feel like I need the negation, right? Oh, reach and trample. This always gets me. I always fucking miss this. Yeah, no, I always miss this interaction of just equip my guy. So maybe last turn I was supposed to go to 1 and trade off. But then I'm dead to this board anyway, aren't I? Yeah. No, I was never surviving that. Okie dokie, so final round, we're up against Surgitor. We're on the play. I've not seen Surgitor in a few months, but I think they used to be a pretty big Sphere Shops player, which isn't great for us. I think that matchup's actively bad. Lurrus plus Lurrus. Okay, so they're not a Sphere Shops gamer. This means we get to keep our lovely hand and cast a Mishra's Bauble. And I'm just going to take a look at the top of my deck. My deck here. I've got a Fatal Push. I presume that's good. Oh, I'm going to go, and I will make my land drop this turn, guys, don't worry. Oh, the lag is scaring me, though. Yeah, we got it. Cool. So I'm going to draw in their upkeep. I'm going to get my Fatal Push. Then I'm going to have a Psychic Frog protected by Daze and Misstep. We've got a Flooded Strand. And a Mox Pearl. And I can just get a Underground Sea. Cycle a Lorien. And get another sea. And then I'll just deploy a frog. I can counter plow. I can daze something. I can also opt not to fight. I can kill their frogs when they get to it. Cool. Frogs in for now, but I expect resistance. And I will fight the resistance as well. So black is a push. Push gets misstepped. Misstep gets forced. Forced can't be dazed. Okay. So we lose the battle over the frog. It's going to be hard for me to lose battles over their frogs, I think. But maybe it will be possible to lose battles over their frogs. We've got Scalding Tarn. Okay, Lurrus mirror match is not something I'm mentally prepared for. Do I just play my lands? Do I buy my Lurrus? Do I want to kill their lands? I can buy a Lurrus that I can't protect. I think I want Lurrus at least in my hand. I can daze a Bowmaster on end step. I'm not feeling like I'm going anywhere at the moment is the problem. But there's like things in Vintage where like the Doomsday Mirror, for example, is the person who acts first usually loses. And then there's a few rules like that you kind of pick up on as you go through the format. So yeah, Doomsday Mirror is the first person to act usually loses unless it's obviously like winning right now. But then the Lurrus Mirror, I don't know if I'm supposed to like just not take game actions like you do in some control mirrors, or whether it is about trading lands, or whether I'm actually more interested in developing out my own mana where I can. And I think I'm supposed to develop my own mana and ignore their lands because they've resolved an Ancestral. So they're going to be better at making land drops, and their hand's going to be more stacked. So I think I just use this as a colourless land, as an actual factual waste, until they want to play a Saga, at which point they'll want to wasteland me first. So that's a Psychic Frog, which we'll fight over probably during my turn, I imagine. I'm hoping I draw a land here. That would be the best thing for me. It's another wasteland, which isn't a dream, but a land's a land, you know? So let's play this. Let's push your guy. I don't think we want to fuck around at all. I think we just want to push. I shouldn't have played my land. That was horrendous. That was a horrible, horrible land drop. Because I'm holding daze, right? So if they play something, and I can daze, I can replay my land and play my other push. Spell Pierce. My Fatal Push. Okay. I'll pay 2. Alright, cool story. I'm actually really happy with that exchange, the way it played out, because I got 2 of their cards for 1 of mine. They have tapped me down on something, but I don't know what they're aiming to do. You know, like they've used their peers to tap me out. They've got me low on mana because there's this incoming payoff. What that is, I don't know. They've got a Ponder. Okay. I think that's fine. I don't think that's too much of an issue for now. And they've got a Psychic Frog. Okay. We're going to untap again. They've got a Wasteland. And I'm going to Wasteland my sea. Do I want to push in response? So I can push, they force, I daze, but then I don't actually have. I think I want to, because I think I want to try and protect this, because I might be able to resolve a Lurrus through it next turn. Yeah, it just happens. Okay, fine. If that's just happening, then that's cool. It's a Mishra's Bauble. I'll cast this and see what they're drawing. They're drawing a Soul Guide Lantern. So I'm going to waste them twice, because I want to Spell Pierce their Soul Guide. They have got 2 cards. Maybe they can get around it, but I know it takes me a long way away from my Lurrus, but I want my cards in my graveyard. And if they pierce back or something, I will just daze them. Urza's Saga. Okay, that's fucked up. I guess I sat with 2 Wastelands in play, talked about Urza's Saga, then used my 2 Wastelands to hit an incidental card. So maybe that's something where I've just kind of lost sight of what I was doing, and that immediately ends the game. Yep. This is one of those things, though, that you learn with reps, right? Soul Guide Lantern looks annoying, so I'm trying to build a Lurrus. But if I double Wasteland you to Spell Pierce your Soul Guide Lantern, I'm not building towards a Lurrus. If I double Wasteland you, and I'm no longer building towards a Lurrus, and I'm no longer... and I still got a Graveyard, but you don't have a Soul Guide Lantern, I'm now losing to Saga. So the ending to this game was completely self-inflicted, And I should just give up my graveyard, right? Because now the game's over. They get a Lotus to play, which next turn means they can play a Lurrus. Okay, no, they've got a Mox Jet to play. Do I want to negate this? I think I do. I just want them to slow down a bit, you know? I want them to allow me some cards for a change. Ugh. That was gross. So I'm going to take 8 this turn. All of this stemming from that double wasteland because I'm too scared of Soul Guide Lantern. And yeah, my graveyard's an important resource for the long game that I'm aiming for, but it's not actually a relevant resource, if you know what I mean. Like, it's one that I have to just concede to. So I go to 3, meaning my only way to survive a turn is with the Bowmaster. And then I'm praying that my top card after this is Fatal Push. I think we're just dead, right? Let's just play out the turn. But they've not played a Bowmaster yet either, which means the fact they're forcing me to play a Bowmaster means their Bowmaster will kill me. And they DT'd last turn, so they probably DT'd for Bowmaster. Because that just makes this attack lethal. Maybe they DT'd for dig through time, actually. Yeah. Good game. I definitely fucked up the game where I got fixated on their next play and not the cards in their hand, and the fact that Saga ends us, and that double wasteland takes me so far away from Lurrus that I can't play anymore. I definitely agree there. Okay, so Legacy's Allure. This looks like the matchup for Legacy's Allure. Doesn't look like the matchup for anything else other than so Swamp, Momentum Breaker, Legacy's Allure. They're the cards I think I'm interested in. I'm on the play, so I like the days. I don't think I like the negations at all. I think they just go. And then I get these 3 cards, and life is sweet. Lots of removal, an extra land because lands are good in control mirrors, and the cheeky breaker, the Legacy's Allure. I've got a Lurrus and 0 lands. I don't have any blue mana here, but I think we still like it. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to just bottom the walk or bottom the Legacy's Allure. Legacy's Allure we're very far away from, but it is cool. Let's play a Bauble. I'm going to Bauble myself, just to make it look like I've got options. It's a fetch land. I'll play a Swamp. Okay, in their upkeep, I draw a card. It's the Polluted Delta that we knew about. That's cool. Oh god, the mulligan on the play is horrific. They've got 8 cards in their hand, and I've got 5. I hate it. They bauble me. I wonder if they'll share this. Shall I ask in chat if they want to tell me what I'm drawing? Wasteland. Cool. It's a Mox Jet. How bad is throwing a frog at them here then, team? I don't think it's great, but I'm going to do it. They play a Force of Will. They pitch a Treasure Cruise. They play Delta and fetch immediately. They get Underground Sea. So it allows them to cast a Ponder, which is something I'm not really playing many of, right? I don't think I'm playing any Ponders. I'm on 0 Ponders. I feel like I've been playing this league for my entire life. And like this deck is interesting to play. I do enjoy it. But there's also that thing of I don't feel like I've got the time in my life to learn Lurrus Mirrors to play this at a sufficient level. They've got another Wasteland. I think I'm cool with that. I'm going to play my Lurrus out. I'm going to play a Strip Mine. And then I'm going to play my Lurrus out. I've got Force plus Misstep to protect with. And then I can start Baurbling. I'm going to protect with Misstep in case they go land push next turn. If they've got Force plus Force, that's annoying. You've got Force plus Force, okay, sure. I don't really feel like strip mining their thing. I really don't like playing that strip mine. I died to Saga last turn, and I've just revealed my answer to Saga and punted my Lurrus away to double Force. Is double Force something I'm supposed to play around? They buy Lurrus. Okay. They don't have any coloured mana at the moment. Do I want to wasteland them? Not really. I'm just so scared of the Saga. They'll wasteland me when they're ready, and then I'll wasteland them. Now I'm just in a spot where I've twice now lost my Lurrus to this player. And that's put me incredibly far behind. I can get Undercity because I'm so well developed in mana that it doesn't matter if they wasteland me. It's actually probably actively good for me. I think I'm interested in stripping that later. Oh, DT's just going to get Lotus. Lotus is going to play Lurrus. Life is Pain. He didn't get Lotus. Okay, what did they get then? Just another land? I'm going to get an Undercity. That might trigger a wasteland from our opponent, but I'm really kind of on board with that. Lorien revealed. I'm a lot less on board with their wasteland now. I think I've been Lorien because I plan on stripping that sea. Or maybe they've gone and tutored for Saga. Oh, then that's great for me. So let's strip your sea and hold the wasteland and not show them that. They got a strip mine. Takes me off blue mana. Wish I hadn't pitched my Lorien. I hate everything about this game. I don't know why I play it. That's a joke. So opponents just sat out there wastelanding nerds all day. I'm holding this wasteland forevermore. That's a Mox Sapphire. I'm going to go to their upkeep. I'm going to try and resolve this Ancestral Recall. My Ancestral myself, please, sir. Drawing runner on a power could have been good here. That could have been what we were looking for. My opponent still continues to have just wastelands. I'm going to develop one of these bowmen. I've got pushes and I've got the second bowman to answer their bowman. So I think I'm fine. I'm gonna. Am I gonna cycle Lorien Revealed? I don't know. I kind of want to make a land drop, but it's just gonna die. So I don't know how much I am actually interested in making a land drop. I think I still do. Like I don't. I'm happy with them wastelanding me because every wasteland they use is one less wasteland for my Urza's Saga. By that I mean they've just played their fourth wasteland. So they've had, yeah, all four wastelands and strip mine this game. I think playing the second bowman is egregious. I think I'll play the second bowman now. Attack for 2. Cool. The saga arrives and I've held my wasteland for it. I feel clever. I'm going to flash in a bowman. And I'm going to shoot your face. Bang. Attack for 4. Play my wasteland. Wasteland your Urza's Saga. And that's like the one threat they have on their draw that's actually scary that we've just dealt with. They can't go land treasure cruise. They're dead. Nice. Okay. I'm happy with how I played that game. I think I like my configuration. We managed to navigate a 4 wasteland, 1 strip mine hand from our opponent. All of that seems good to me. Probe, swamp, wasteland, Legacy's Allure. I think this is cool, right? I've got a bowman, I've got a probe, I've got a wasteland for you. I can draw some cards, I can have a fun day out. We can go to the pub. You can cast a ponder, sure. So let's probe them first of all, see what they're working with, see if we can draw a blue source, see if the wasteland here is relevant and good. Okay. Dig Through Time's a cool draw, but not one I'm dreaming of at the moment when I can't produce blue. They hit me with the old Days Arena, which I don't love. Okay. Nope, nope. Play Swamp. You'll go, and we're horribly exposed to everything. But we think they've only got an Underground Sea at the moment. Both players have Lurruses. They've got a basic Swamps. They're playing around my wasteland quite nicely. It looks like they're trying to deploy a frog on 2 that I can't contest. I'm going to play a wasteland. I think I'll just strip this now. If I play a Bowmaster, they can play a Bowmaster, so it's bad. If they play... They're trying to protect their Psychic Frog. I'm going to play a Psychic Frog, and I'm not going to protect my Psychic Frog with Days. But I will if they let it, if they try and push it. So they force pitching, force of negation. It's interesting to me that that's still in the deck. They cycle a Lorien for another Underground Sea or Basic Island. They get Basic Island, nice. They're trying to leverage the game in the same way that I did last time. Stable mana lets you partake in the game. But now I think, oh no, they've got a wasteland. Holy fuck, that's bad for me. Okay, so I just need to rip another one off the top. So they're holding basic island and underground sea at the moment. I've got shit all. And now this is the best time for them to resolve their frog because I can't daze it. They've got a fatal push on top. That's their fatal push, which I'm also not a fan of. I draw in their upkeep and I get another bauble. And then they just go island frog and the game's over. DT, okay. Okay, buddy. So they DT for something, possibly a strip mine. Possibly that's the route they're going. Lorien revealed is a nice one. Let's take a look-see at the top of our deck first of all then. Although I really want to make a land drop this turn. There's another bowman though. No, I think I've got to make a land drop. And I think I get basic island, and if I get strip mined, then that's fine. They cheated for strip mine, you know. I draw a card. It's a force of will. That's a cracker. Underground sea. And pass. Okay. So they've given up on my mana for a moment. They didn't tutor for strip mine. They might have tutored for ancestral. I get mock sapphire, which I'm quite on board with. I'm going to flash in a bowman. I'm going to bowmaster you. They're going to push my bowmaster. Okay. That's fair. I'm going to force pitching spell pierce. And hope you spell pierce me back. No. Okay, cool. So that just all happens. But once again, I finish my turn feeling massively exposed to a psychic frog. And they just buy Lurrus and play a C. Okay. So I can merchant for my own ancestral. I think that sounds really good. They've got 2 cards left in hand. One of them's a Lurrus. Yeah, I'll keep that. No, so they've got 3 cards left in hand. One of them's a Lurrus. They've got 2 cards we don't know about, I believe. Maybe they've just not drawn a frog and I'm just like losing my mind, but it's all felt quite froggy. They wasteland my Undercity. And they're not willing to commit Lurrus to play. We attack for 1. And just play a frog, I guess. You'll go. I expect to get pushed and something, but I don't think I mind. They've got 2 cards, one of them's a Lurrus, but their Lurrus is really bad. They don't have anything in their graveyard. Okay, the Lurrus is pretty good. They've got a Bauble. Bauble me. They play Lurrus, so I'm going to get to try and bowman their Lurrus on my upkeep. Is that something I'm going to go for? I think it is. I've got days to fight their Fatal Push with. So trigger target Lurrus. You draw a card. Trigger target Lurrus. So now they're the player without the Lurrus going forwards. I've got a Lurrus in my exile zone at the moment. I am exposed to their Bowmaster. They've got another bauble on top. At some point I'd like to put this Legacy's Allure into play. But I've just not really felt like I've had the opportunity to. They bauble me, so they know what I'm drawing on their upkeep. Both players draw cards. I get Force of Will. That's a cracker, isn't it? Good lord. I get to bauble you. Bingo. Thank you. So the opponent falls to 12, and the clock's ticking on them at the moment, but they're back up to 4 cards in hand. Gitaxian Probe. Paying mana, not life. Their Lurrus is dead. They haven't found a Frog or Bowman yet that we know of. Oh, and they just conceded the match. Okay. That was fun, though. Strange League, something a little bit different for us to play with, just like a tier 1 deck. Let's look at the details of the league quickly. I lost to Raker Shops. I beat Geeds, who was on green-white brew, which looked sick. We beat Toxic on Doomsday. We lost to Sphere Shops, and we won a mirror match. I think that's quite a cool meta game to play against, and I enjoyed the league, even if I played suboptimally a lot of the way through. But when you try and learn new decks, you're not going to play perfectly, right? It's just a fact of life. You're going to make mistakes. Things aren't going to be intuitive to you that players have better reps in. And it's always good to come out and just try something different. So this was Etoustar's top 8 challenge list of Dimir Lurrus. Currently one of the big guns in the format. Has been for a while, the Lurrus decks, and it just... The Lurrus players dilly and dally between what's better each week, Esper or Dimir. I think the reason people are on Dimir at the moment is... There was a reason recently. But I think that reason's possibly changed with... I think this is better against Duel, whereas the Esper versions are better against the creature decks, because you get Plow and you get Containment Priest. That's my understanding. But this list is, I think, crap into Sphere Shops. But hey ho, that's how metagames work. You make adjustments to what you think you're going to face. Legacies, I don't know, we did Momentum Break on something. Legacies Allure is cool, but we never got it off. I might have been able to deploy it in that final game, but I always felt like I was doing something more relevant than that. But that might just be a leak on my part where you have to be proactively playing this into an empty board, right? Anyway. Yeah, that was Dimir Lurrus, and I enjoyed it. So thanks for watching. See you soon.